Murray County at the 4-H Community Garden, and joining me is Carl Oblander, the County Extension Educator. Carl, this is a wonderful project that you've started here. Tell me a bit about the Community Garden and how you began.
Thanks, Kim. And I'm fairly a new educator in Murray County. In fact, I've been here about a year, and I got to thinking about some things that my district director mentioned to me on programming and how to combine all of my jobs together. And so what I came up with was involving the 4-H kids and the OHC program and agriculture all together.
And tell me about the OHC. That's the
Oklahoma Home and Community Education. And we have a Murray County group here, and which consists of about 70 different women. And what they do is they meet monthly. They have council meetings. They do different things in the community. So we got them involved with the kids to start this garden.
It's really nice because it brings the kids together with a generation of gardeners who have much more experience and kind of help educate them as they go through it.
And that's kind of what we were shooting for, is to bring that experience in and try and get them as involved as possible.
And so through the 4-H program, you can use this garden for, I'm sure, a whole variety of topics, entomology and horticulture.
You bet. And that's what we were working on today, is doing some entomology and collecting bugs and making sure that we're not overutilizing the insecticides and things like that. So we're doing some of that by hand, and the kids really enjoy doing that and figuring out what the different kinds of bugs are.
And you've been incorporating the Junior Master Gardener program as well?
Yes, we have been doing that. What we'll do with that is like the suck-a-bug program. We bring down and we take the bugs off the plants and then go back and ID those. And then we're doing some of the entomology and then community service projects and working with the farmers market, and then doing some different types of plots in the garden as well. So
I was really interested to find that you and your 4-H group have been really integral in starting a farmers market here in town.
Yes, we about a year ago when I started, I asked if we had something, and the Chickasaw Nation in fact has one down the street, and so they have some vendors, and Sulphur actually wanted to start one too. So we said, you bet, we're going to have a garden and we'll try and help you out as much as possible. And the kids were really on board and make a little extra money for some of their projects and trips. So we got everybody together and a lot of community involvement and put what you see together. So we've been having a lot of fun, and they especially like the pizza parties after the farmers market. So
I'm sure they do. And you've mentioned you had a lot of community involvement to help bring in some materials. I like how creative you've been using what you can find.
Right. We one of the things that Murray County has been doing here lately is the Water Resource Board and recycling and things like that. And so what we thought of was, how can we recycle products and use things that was around the county to help with our community garden and show the kids that that's in fact something we can do. And so we recycled some of these old truck tires that were going to get hauled off and thrown away, and utilize them as our container gardening. And then the raised beds were generously donated by one of the lumber yards in town, and so the kids and I filled those with topsoil and put them together. And so we've had squash in here and tomatoes over here in this other. So we're trying to do a bit of a demonstration plot as well as the in-ground gardening.
Well, you have a wonderful integrated garden here for education and outreach. It's a wonderful program, and I'm sure the kids have learned a whole lot through this, especially how much work it is to garden.
Even if they won't admit it, I think it's starting to sink in. So.
Well, good. Thank you so much for what you're doing here. This is wonderful.
Thank you for coming and visiting.
Before we leave, I want to visit with some of the 4-H gardeners here. Have you guys learned a lot out here in the garden?
Yes.
Yes. Now I see all these wonderful scarecrows. Who wants to tell me a little bit about those? You tell me.
We had a scarecrow contest, and we would create our scarecrows. And well, that scarecrow right there got first, and then that one behind the sunflowers got second.
And that one's yours, huh?
Mm-hmm.
They're all wonderful, a lot of fun. And who planted the sunflowers?
I did.
You planted the sunflowers? Did they get a lot bigger than you expected?
Yes, very bigger.
And I heard that you guys were measuring them. What was your tallest one so far?
It's about 8.5 feet.
It's giant. It's
Mhm.
wonderful. And their heads are so big. Somebody
Yes.
said the head's bigger than my
That was
head.
mine.
What have you learned out here working in the gardens?
I've learned it's a lot of work, but in the end it pays off.
And have you worked at all at the farmer's market?
Yeah.
Yeah? And tell me about that, working with the people.
You just get to hang out and visit with a lot of people.
Get to know them better.
Yeah.
Yeah. And have you enjoyed working with the OHC group here?
Yes.
Yeah. How about you? What have you learned out here?
I learned how much to spread them, like,
The spacing?
yeah, and to use soil and all that.
Did the plants use more space than you thought they would need?
Mhm.
Yeah? Well, good. You guys have a wonderful garden out here. You're doing a great job. Keep up all the hard work.